bomb later, and it's kind of a pain to do so. Sometimes you have to, but it's never fun. Off. So, was just going out for a pack of smokes. Of course he is. Just 20 rupees. Nothing too valuable there, but early rupees, can't really say no to early rupees. They make getting bottle vendor a lot easier. I've definitely had seeds, I've definitely seen seeds where bottle vendor is kind of important. You just don't get 100 rupees by the time you work your way over to CAC, even with the 70 from Blind's Hut. Uncle? And we'll see what the random weapon for today is. Samaria. That's always an interesting one. Samaria can be a tricky item to find, but it doesn't immediately help you. Damage, it's equivalent to the fighter sword, and another early boot seed! Ow! Those boots are going to be quite something. We will definitely see who's going to take an early advantage here with these boots. It is not easy to handle the escape with boots and no sword, but those boots, those are nice. We'll see if any runners... Oh yeah, you can just bonk open that wall. I completely forgot about that. Anyway, we'll see if our runners remember this, or remember to check bonk rocks. Still farm up for a bomb here, just because it is nice to have that bomb going into Kakariko village. So we'll see if the Samaria strat's been practiced here. Shield from Scatter. Let's see how KwehstopherWarken handles it. And I've got a question for the chat while our runners are going through this escape. Sound, do you prefer Kweh or Wark? Personally, I go with Kweh. Final Fantasy IX any day. Guard. Only takes 2 hits. Detonate that Samaria block, but decently handled. Key. Point during the escape. This isn't open mode. It can't be in the secret passage chests or in Sanctuary, so has to be somewhere. Ball and Chain Guard. We'll see if Scatter or Kwehstopher both decide to go for a Samaria kill or the pot throw kill. I know Dat Lawson on Discord has posted a pretty fast Samaria kill. Scatter's going for a hybrid. The Samaria block can take 5 hits before it detonates. Pot plus 4 hits, and that's the Ball and Chain Guard. For the pure Samaria strat, unfortunately having a little bit of trouble. And his health's a little scary. I don't know if he knows if the that there are hearts under those pots up there. Running back through escape here, just some simple backtracking. Scatter takes an early lead with some better kills. Push the throne to get access to the dark rooms. These are the only dark rooms in the game where you have light without the lamp, but only in standard mode. magic under some of these pots, but I don't know if our runners know that. Scatter won't need it. And Kwehstopher, he has indeed a lot more magic and may not in the boots as much. Escape. That is not immediately helpful, but it is a very nice item to have early without having to worry about it. Sure that both runners are very happy to see that turn up. Brutask, you are correct that the boots work here. You don't actually need a sword to bonk open a wall. So 50 rupees, plus 5 bombs, and the Bombos medallion. Stuff that isn't bad to have, but nothing immediately helpful. You have to find something that opens up the world pretty quick, but yeah, very surprising if it doesn't happen in Kakariko. Solid escape from both of them. Again, getting a very nice full magic drop. Pearl is important, but it's not immediately helpful. It doesn't do anything on its own. You need to have either the or some other Dark World access. Flute to get to glove and hammer, etc. And did in fact forget the chest. That doesn't hurt him yet, but he will probably be going back there once he finds a glove later. We're just a heart. And seems to have forgotten that he has boots again. Early, but forgetting that bonk rocks thing. I need him later. So, red rupees. For those who don't know, the tree poles have 3 tiers. If you kill 1 to 3 enemies, get the tier 1 prize. If you kill big damage, you get the tier 2 prize. If you kill 4 enemies and have not taken damage since your last pull, then you get the tier 3 prize. If you're almost always set up for tier 2, so that tier 2 is a pretty nice way to farm if necessary. Hopefully it won't be. I was in Lumberjack Cave. Someone in chat catch that? It is follow. So, Warken getting some bombs that Scatter got. Scatter electing to grab those 20 rupees. He probably is thinking, I'll buy bombs in Kak. Down into Kakariko from the north. Third route for standard mode. A lot of variations you can do, seeing as you're coming out of Sanctuary. Pretty much the densest location in the entire game. Ashes of 5 items here, plus Bottle Vendor, plus Chicken Hut, plus Sick Kid, plus the Tavern. Not to collect here. Has any hype? Half magic, I'd say that's pretty hype. God, that is a very nice find. Really all the offense they need for pretty much entire dungeons. And Skullwoods, well, you need a sword for that, but Ice Palace especially, if you've got the Fire Rod and Bombos, you've got no problem. Well, Rupee so far. Behind the bomb wall is... rupees. That'll be good for Zora. Finding a 300 early is just always so nice. Don't have to worry about money for the most part. And the well is just loaded with cash today. Somebody dropped their life savings down here. Their savings probably back to its original owner. Trade in for a heart. Going into the chicken hut. Different routes. I don't think Scatters was faster, but always happy to see something different there. Nice chicken clip from Warken. Not sure it was worth it, but pretty nice. Check. Green pendant Eastern, red pendant Hera, and then I saw Crystal 7 on Desert. So that is 2 Light World pendants in their vanilla locations, I believe. If you want to see Light World pendants, those dungeons are usually quicker than their Dark World counterparts. Double take on what he saw. Not buying bombs. That surprises me. Library. I don't think either of our runners here are going to pass that up. Mail is just really nice to have early. Really, if no other safeties turn up for a while. And does acknowledge that he can bonk open this wall. Second race game here. See if there's anything of value. This is a very, very healthy seed so far. Save and quit while Scatter seems to be going on foot down to the South Shore area. Save and quit is the faster option here, even with boots. Glove, which is easy to forget that the fastest path does have a in the way, so Warken takes an early advantage here, but going not to the South Shore, but to Eastern? The Eastern dip is an interesting decision, I have to say, especially without that save and quit. 20 rupees from the outside. Fire sword from the dam. Yeah, I agree with Scatter's decision here. He doesn't have bombs, but he could have bought bombs in Kakariko. Players could have bought bombs when they were passing through Kakariko. Neither of them realized that. And Sahasrala, I did not catch that. The other screen. That is a good find. The Eastern Palace check. Scatter goes for the Dark Room or not. So Warken gonna get his heart from the Sanctuary Bonk Rocks. Those early boots, that early sword is a bigger advantage than it would seem. Bombs, definitely hurting both runners here. We'll see who decides to buy first. And who's decided to detour to Kakariko again? Stock up on some bombs. aware of what you have and what you need, and there's the ice rod! So both rods have already turned up. And Cane of Samaria. And seeming very much like Turtle Rock is going to be one of the earliest dungeons cleared. There could be some recalcitrant mitts, there could be a medallion, it could just be somewhere else. The ice rod isn't required. It is very nice to have to not be worrying about if it's going to be required. Checking Mini Moldorm Cave coming up here. One NPC, 4 from chests. Scatter is going to be going for the dark rooms as well. Air capacity upgrade. Just some money, nothing useful yet. Yeah, I'd say a glove's pretty nice. Well, actually, I believe just mitts and officially Death Mountain access away from Turtle Rock being open. Ow. Checking the 3 chests he missed in escape, getting at his bombos. While Scatter, remember this is a sequence break, so if this chest pays off, that's going to be a pretty big advantage. About early Turtle Rock potentially here is that the runners do have blue mail and they do have a decent amount of health. Scatter seems to be trying to farm bombs. Looks like instead he's going to be working his way over to the Cac Bomb shop as well. Kin is going for a Houlihan? Going for a Houlihan. 600 rupees. Be leveraging his hookshot for the dam, hopefully showing us the way to get both items in one trip. He's got his sword. He did the Eastern Darkrooms swordless, is actually quite nice. That is far easier to screw up than you would think. More than 1,000 rupees in a seed. But that is just surplus potion funds, so maybe Warken just doesn't feel confident in potions, but he doesn't have any bottles yet. And Warken's gonna get his hookshot, Scatter's gonna get his out of Mini Moldorm. Gonna be using the fire rod as his weapon of choice, or no, the Bombos medallion. 7-second animation, but the Mini Moldorms can be hard to hit. I don't fault him this. No. So Warken's gonna be dipping Eastern himself. Ice Rod the Scatter has, which Warken's about to be getting too. The runners are in pretty even footing here. To see where the progression lies, it almost has to be either Ice Rod Cave or Agina's Cave right now. Surprised if we saw Limp or Flute turn up for Death Mountain access right now. Very high concentration of items, and just most likely place to have to go next. Completely wrong, and it's the book. That's the Dark World. And Moon Pearl? Yeah. And there's Dark World access. Looks like Scatter's gonna go over to the Village of Outcast. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for a Skull Woods clear. Really doable, but 8 Hearts Mothula is a little bit scary. Fighter Sword fight there. Fire Rod still takes 8 hits, and it's easy to miss or have them get eaten. Damage, so... 4... Front half? Skullwoods at all? I see 5 and 6 on Thieves and Skullwoods, and then Mire as the final pendant. Very favorable set of crystals here. 5 and 6 being already clearable. Worry about Fat Fairy, and it's just an easy decision to try and clear both. Rooms. That key in the meantime. Chest in Skullwoods. Chest keys in Skullwoods. One of them is forced to be in the room to the right of the one down there. One small key, he gets Scatter can completely avoid that the colloquially known pinball room. He knows that there's one small key left. We'll see where it turns up. Small keys. If he progresses on to the vanilla big key chest on the overworld, he does have blue mail, so it's a little less scary. Dead, back to Sanctuary. Takes the death abuse here. Death. Half a heart. Gotta navigate his way through this room. Ooh, takes the death early. Trying to take that death after getting the chest. Long enough. So, Warken looks like he's heading over to Agina. It's for Scatter, so... Remains to be seen whether he'll push on to the back half. He's found none of the items in Skullwoods yet. There's only the big key and 2 items to be found, so... Track or the big key could just be in the big chest. We'll see if Agina has anything, and if bypassing that is going to burn Scatter. Rupee, so... The good thing about Warken's position here is that that hammer is bottlenecking everything. I'm pretty sure the only location he hasn't checked, so he should be on his way there. If over the top bridge route to this chest. It's 100 rupees, but it is the first item. Always helpful. So I think it would have been better to take a death abuse there. Really argue walking back. Taking himself for this, I'm sure. Was already here. Get the key dash. He's not going for the lower left, but he is trying to refill his health and magic here a little bit. Got about a half a tank. That should be 6 or 7 fire rod shots. We'll see where Warken goes with his Dark World access kit. To the Kakariko portal. Would have been interesting to see if somebody would go for Hype Cave first. You could totally make the Dark World sweep from another angle. Better going for that moth fight. Little scary positioning-wise. He's got 5 hits from anything. On the 6th, that's death. And has to land 8 hits. More if he goes for Fighter Sword slashes. It's not easy to pull off. If you knock Mothula into a spike, it does no damage. Didn't go for a fire rod shot there. It would have been the perfect opportunity. Ooh, takes the death. Tries again. Refilling your magic here is always a pain. And finding a full heart and chest game. Going to be checking out the cast area and possibly going for Thieves Town. He's going in for Thieves Town before C-shaped house. And a map check. Always good before making a decision. Really like the Mothula fight. It is difficult, but keeps you on your toes. You gotta keep focused. It's very easy to lose focus. Slightly worse positioning for this attempt, but it's what Warken found in that first test of Thieves Town. Mine's here. The big key. Oh, he must have found the small key. I can see that from the HUD. How convenient. Long way around. It's good for avoiding lag in the enemies if you really don't want to take damage, but going around on the same screen. Okay, so Vivi's bunny sprite is a cat. I did not know that. Just the compass. So is that every dungeon item in the front of Thieves Town? Dungeon item in the front half of the dungeon. They're doing a very good job at avoiding damage, but he's not really dealing any right now, and there's another death. Just gonna say no. I've had my attempts. I'll come back later. I can't say I blame him. I've been down the road of farming for moth in these races before. Pretty much the same position. It's not fun. Things that could be done. You can actually kill Mothula in 4 hammer hits, and with low health, it's a little bit high variance, but it can definitely work. What's in the top of Thieves Town? What's in the C-shaped house? Rupees in the attic chest. Still 3 more items in Thieves Town. Opening Thieves Town, and he's also diving in. It's not something I think I've seen done, Thieves Town before C-shaped house. It's very hard to check that location after the dungeon I've found. Blind's chest. We'll see if there's anything interesting in the cell. Might be seeing what the stun prize is here. And the mitts! That is almost vanilla. And not say no to a good pair of mitts. Around the land of Hyrule is now a lot easier than it used to be. That Dark World access, every portal is open to them now, except the Aghanim portal. Let's be honest, if the Aghanim portal gets opened, something has gone wrong. There was this arrow capacity upgrade in the big chest. We'll have that confirmed when Scatter gets down there. And we'll see how the blind fight goes. Runners could decide to go for a Samaria blind fight to fight from a distance, or go for the standard fight with the sword. It'll be interesting to see what they go with. I'm expecting a couple of sword fights. Wrong, we could see a hammer fight. Broken pencils are pointless. That they are. From Worken. Blind gets away in the second phase, but pretty solid there. The 3 hearts. 2, 1. He's got to get 2 more hits here. He cannot take one, and he takes it. That was a very close fight. Blind can be very difficult if he gets out of hand. Experienced at trying to dodge bullet hell. Going to no padded there and come back for blind later. Or fares any better. Mobile hut. We found a lot of those. Which is somewhat on the rarer side. His mitts. It looks like Worken's going to be doing Mirrorless Smith. As he's doing it mirrorless, he's gonna have to do it now. Is it now? So he's gonna commit to doing hammer pegs first, and then probably save and quit, drop off the smith, and I don't know if he's gonna go back for purple chest immediately or save it for later. See if Scatter is confident enough to try and beat Blind on... Oh, but phase 2 goes pretty solidly. Ball. And another one. And Blind claims a second victim. Just pushing everybody around. Warken is doing a Smith World tour. He's going to be in for a bit of a rude surprise. Meantime, Scatter's going to go for a second attempt at blind. Cannot do that standard fight positions, though 6 hearts, he might have a little bit of trouble here. Stumpy, that paid off. Scatter will be going there pretty shortly. If arrows, I'd say that's pretty hype. So right now, with that flute that Warken found, everything in Death Mountain is available. With flute to get there, hookshot to get across, top, to access the Dark World portion. It's just, you can do everything on Death Mountain. There's be willing to dive Turtle Rock. For it is Bombos. I'm not sure right now. It depends on what else turns up. I feel like if another sword turns up, we'll definitely see that play. Can't say I would blame them if they just decide to come back later. Rock is not my idea of fun. Warken taught me something new. I did not know that the Smith could go into Hype Cave. Samaria fight I mentioned. And there it is. Very nice Samaria blind fight. Oh, but he also gets a crystal. Warken did not go do was he did not go get the catfish item. That does isolate it and make it a bit of a pain to check later, so flute. In time, Scatter is going to finish up his Village of Outcasts check. A very interesting race so far. Both runners have taken fairly similar paths, but they've also done different things and succeeded at different things. Fault any decisions involving Skullwoods, though. That can just be a pain. What are going to do with his South Dark World check? Work in a shield. Digging game. Pretty digs. That is rude. Take the 80 rupees. A single arrow. Looks like Scatter's gonna go do the blacksmith, and he's gonna realize he doesn't have his mirror. Time Warken going back in for a rematch with Blind. That red mail doesn't have too much of an impact. It means that body hits will now do a half a heart instead of a single heart. On the fireballs, we'll still only do 1 heart. Though he's at 9 hearts instead of 8. And he's got full health instead of lowered health. And he too is going for the Samaria refight. Third slashing. Do Open King's Tomb without a bonk. Right, from Warken, he's got his 10 arrows. Eyes of Thieves Town, right? Not the crystal? Scatter pass through Kakariko. Enters a lull as Warken goes to get his single arrow. Valuable item. I mean, let's be honest, a single silver arrow can do some pretty serious damage. That removes just about anything. Pick it up. He just thinks, yeah, that's rude. His decision to warp out before doing Stumpy and Hype Cave has cost him the flute temporarily, but unless he's going back in for a refight with Mothula now, I think he's gonna go get those. His trip up to Death Mountain. Not going for Old Man in the Dark. Got that. My phone lad. Second thoughts on his South Dark World trip. It's like he's going to be grabbing the purple chest first. And the purple chest can be a little inconvenient to take around. It works. Warken going straight to Dark Death Mountain, not even checking East Death Mountain or West Death Mountain. Not always the best choice given the lack of mirror, but it could pay off, especially if the mirror turns up here. He'll get a much smoother route. Got it on his mind. I have everything for Turtle Rock. I need to go to Turtle Rock. Flute. That later. For Bunny. And Ether Medallion. Well, if Turtle Rock is Ether, then this actually works out. Dark Death Mountain, and then back to Dark Death Mountain for Turtle Rock. Get his red mail and silvers. Ether on Turtle Rock. Okay, we don't know what's on the floating island, and we can't find out right now either. So, 300 rupees, 5 rupees, the bow. Right. What does that bow mean? That bow means that pod can be cleared if the runners know how to do the dark rooms there. With Fire Rod, they aren't too scary. Also be cleared, but seeing it's dependent, not too high on anyone's priority list when it's an out-of-logic pendant. Where is Warken gonna go now? Area is tempting. The Light World Death Mountain is also pretty tempting. He's going off to Pod. All of Death Mountain is open. This is the continuation of the path he was making before. If Scatter dropped off the purple chest, I missed what it had. I think when he enters this dungeon, the purple chest disappears. I'm not completely certain of what behaviors are. Leave it outside the South of Grove cave and pick it up after I come back. That are not going to be bow locked in pod. Or if that's a good thing or a bad thing here. Working, not finding anything on West Death Mountain. See if East Death Mountain has anything better. The lamp would be a very nice thing to find. Mirror makes getting around a lot easier. Big key to pod, not immediately helpful. And Working just find some more money. Does not find a small key in the basement here, which is entirely possible by logic. He won't be able to progress. A key. And no bow. There's no way for him to do the right side of pod. It's sequence break. For those who don't know, you can drink a bottle in that hallway to desync the camera, get them a mixed off screen, and effectively make the game think they're dead, even when they're not. Dodge from Scatter. What he finds over here. It's gonna let him check something else. Right, he's gonna be doing the dark basement. Will he light a torch? Glad we've got his audio. Word on the floating island, I thought I saw the blue boomerang. Like, entirely wrong. I missed the Master Sword that Worken picked up elsewhere. Had her finding a small key and some more money. Spiral Cave has even more money. Key that Scatter picked up, he can do the entire dark maze. Looks like he's considering it. Hellway. Okay, so he gets to have half his cake and eat it too. Was surprisingly not that valuable. But that doesn't immediately open anything. Going for the hammer jump. Oh. Really wants to check that vanilla big key chest. Taking his trip into pod. Seeing as he has the bow, he can definitely get everything out of here if he knows the dark rooms. Or jump. So everything collected over here is going to be out of logic because the lamp has not yet turned up. Gonna get his starting key and then probably go on the bow side, I think. In the dark maze, tell from the sound effect. There's a menu check after this chest if necessary. I see no difference. It's the map. I'm pretty sure Scatter just got the map. The Dark Maze is a total bust, and Scatter's probably going to take a Death Warp here to be able to check that big key chest. Is going on the right route in pod. He's going to be able to check these two items that Scatter just can't yet because he hasn't been on Death Mountain. Just a small key, so we'll see if that hammer jump does give Scatter an item he otherwise wouldn't have had. Small key. But what this means is Helmosaur has the last item if Warken goes for it. Finally take his trip up Death Mountain. At this point, he just wants to get the old man on the way. His flute yet? Yeah, his flute. Looks like Scatter might be going for a Mothula rematch. Link 0 right now. Both players would like to even that score. Knocking out Moth in one try. Is just forgetting that you can flute to Death Mountain. He really wants to check Pyramid Fairy. Gonna be starting on the Dark Basement. This is one of the easier dark rooms, especially if you're willing to spend the time to light that torch. I don't think will. It's not necessary. It's nice for knowing what you find in a chest, but when the item just shows up anyway. Had her on his next Mothula attempt. Only not that much better equipped than those first tries. Comfortable with the rest of the dark rooms in pod. I'd say I fault his decision to leave there. Pressing places to check. By how long he spent waiting to decide on flute, I'm gonna guess he's probably fluting to Mire. And get a bottle somewhere, I believe on Death Mountain. Or some money. Has to be Mire at this point, based on what we've seen. Down Mothula pretty solid fire rod fight on that attempt. And the tease, the big key. Gotta go check that big chest after all those Mothula attempts. Got 50 rupees and the powders! What is with all of these fetch quests right here? Quests. Alien is Ether, which I believe that was also up on Death Mountain. So going into Misery Mire here. Everything required to clear it except the lamp. Scatter bomb jumping to the big chest, going to find a heart piece. Mothula wasn't worth it, but if Pyramid Fairies got something valuable, then that trip was 100% worth it. Him in pretty good shape, despite not having been on Death Mountain yet. Speaking of not having been on Death Mountain yet, 56 minutes in, Scatter sets foot on Death Mountain. Gun's gonna go up to the bridge chest in Misery Mire. Usually a key of some sort. 10 arrows, which means the other chest, I believe, must be a small key. 100% on all of the implications of Mire key logic. I believe one of these first two must be a small key. I'm not proven right. We're hitting up Paradox Cave. Go flip the switch and start clearing out the rest of Mire. He only needs one more item, so it'll be interesting to see how that factors into his route to trying to hit everything else. Was what had everything I didn't know the location of. In Mire for Warken. At this point, without the big key, it would be a bit of a gamble to go for the, I believe it's the compass chest. It would also be a completely understandable one. Be seeing the map chest, or am I mixing those up? Well, this one's the map this time, so I can't be that wrong. Chest in Misery Mire is gonna have... I haven't seen the inside of Tower of Hera yet. To see if Scatter decides to go for that. He's going down Spiral Cave, so I don't think that's his plan right now. And its vanilla location would have had to do that anyway. So the remaining item is either going to be on Vitreous, in which case it's lamp locked, in the big key chest, which is fine. Or sorry, the big chest over there. Scatter going back up Paradox Cave after the dud that was Spiral Cave. he's gonna be taking a trip to Turtle Rock after he gets undead rocked. And I missed what was in the big chest of Misery Mire, but it was okay. Wait, then why would Worken everything necessary to clear Mire? Curious. I think he just didn't realize that lamp meant, oh, I can actually clear that now. Ouch. Turtle Rock. Let's just go through what's still missing for this seed to be done. Duh. His bow up here in Hookshot Cave. They have the silvers, not that those are necessary for Ganon. Lamp's been found. Both medallions have been found. Flippers are still needed for Swamp and Ice. And Mirror is still needed for Swamp, and I think that's it. Better going on the bottom-up first, or bottom-up route for Super Bunny Cave, while KwehstopherWarken out his Skull Woods. He's got 11 hearts, Master Sword, Fire Rod, you know, Mothula. There is that 11th heart. This is a pretty even so far. Pretty even game. And you're correct, the book could be required for Desert to lead to Mirror. And Flippers turn up, regardless of what's required to get to them, that is go mode. Still needs to pick up his lamp from Mire, which could take a while. You also not need that lamp. Chest in Turtle Rock. Maybe. Yeah. What would... So, yeah, the pedestal could have the flippers. Every pendant is clearable with the items that have turned up. So, pedestal could be flippers, it could be mirror, it could be something leading to either of those things. How comfortable either runner here is with Master Sword Ganon. Silvers, maybe, but I'd be hesitant to go for it in a race like this, especially with those boss deaths. Both runners are probably feeling like they're behind and probably don't want to take any chances like that. Well, saving Scatter here. He hasn't drank his red potion, so we'll see if he realizes that he does not have the powder that Worken picked up from Misery Mire, I believe it was. trickiest part of the Ganon fight to be in phase. Scatter skipping the vanilla big key chest because he has small keys. However, it could still be an item, so that gamble could come back to bite him. About 20-30 seconds. We'll see. A decision based on the fact that he does not want to take a death. He doesn't want to take an accidental death. He'll take an intentional one to refill his health, but... for that item. Key in the big chest, it's pretty likely that the big key chest is an item. This is an annoying backtrack. Key sanity habits from Scatter here. Warken's going to the big chest without the bomb jump, realizes he doesn't have the lamp, and goes for it. It is not as hard as it looks. If you can get to the center of the island, you just go up, then right, and then down. You start moving down, which you can gauge based on the fire bars. Fortunately, Scatter got a little bit lost here, and finding the right path thing to do in the dark. Through. If that was the first time that he'd done that. He's gonna take the safety door for Laser Bridge. I don't blame him. I take the safety door for Laser Bridge. Unless I have enough magic to definitely get through every laser. First chest. Warken's gonna go flute somewhere. Very well-timed health refill from that heart piece. Might be junk items in the fill, but... not what Scatter wants to see. Warken's gonna go clear. And Scatter learns that the item he left behind in the big key chest Helmasaur soon, and we'll also be seeing what's on Trinex. 2 crystal bosses. Will be very interesting to see. Was open early. A big key chest. Oh, it shouldn't be a key, right? He didn't steal the key from the Pokey. If Scatter stole the key from the Pokey, yes, you'd be right, but I don't think he got the Pokey key. I think he went straight down because he already had the big key and small keys, figuring, I can skip that. Trick from working on his way to the Dark Maze. next phase of Trinex here is 10 Master Sword slashes with that double spin at the start. Should be one more. There he goes. Sword Trinex fight. It's not what you want to see. Back in, he knows. He knows. Warken's gonna go on the Helmosaur path, take down the other dinosaur. There are scenarios I can think of where you wouldn't be in go mode and you do want to skip that chest. For example, if you're missing one item and you just want to blitz your way to Laser Bridge. Tempered Sword. The trip back in, but it's pretty helpful. Had that sooner moments. Desert Ledge, Scatter's gonna check Agina because he hasn't done that yet. Warken's gonna go do the Turtle Party Room. Be pretty difficult, we'll see how he handles it. Fun room. Couple extra flips, but you know it's quite difficult to avoid that. Fairy and Tower of Hera. As the number of options where progression can be dwindles, it's ever closer. Here's what I'm hoping to see, and here's what I think the chat's hoping to see. Mirror soon, but Flipper is on the pedestal, or behind it. Only really gets access to Desert Palace right now, which is +2 items, and I guess it does give access to stray locations. So that has some interesting gambles on when do you go for dungeons, and when do you go for the other gambles. Has the other sword! So Warken may not get that gold sword, but Scatter definitely will. The Misery Mire! That's it. Open. Armos Knights are open. Magic Bat's open. There's a lot of stray locations here. Like he was thinking, I'm gonna go to Pyramid Fairy, but I'm gonna turn in that powder first, and that bottle first. Gonna go check King's Tomb, he hasn't done that yet. Players have routed the seed. There are a lot of stray locations that are not easy to keep track of. Hey, what does Magic Bat have? Warken's gonna be checking the old man, so... Silly. Magic Bat? The old man. Just a piece of heart. Off to the Dark World again. King North Dark World. Thing about this seed so far, neither invincibility item has turned up. With their bottle, they can get through Spike Cave. Logic yet. It's not usually worth paying attention to what's in Logic for Spike Cave or not. Lost his purple chest. Warken's going off to Hera. A lot of different plays here. Probably going to do Pyramid Fairy next, but if this race has shown anything, I do not know what these runners are going to do next. Easy big key in Tower of Hera. You never want to have to sit through Tile Room, especially not in Pendant Hera, so that's always a plus. But you never know. It's in Tower of Hera! Comes, do you press on? Gotta just drop the purple chest again. The purple chest without... Yeah. It's just flippers. For Warken, he's not hookshotting to the big chest. Going for the vanilla route of, or he's just going for Moldorm. Catfish. Even quit without the purple chest. Warken's gamble on rushing Moldorm for the pendant does pay off. He gets to skip going to the big chest. And is betting on pedestal flippers right now. Feel about that bet. This purple chest from somewhere. More arrows. Was a weird bonk. Making his way over to Turtle Rock. Long way to go. Pardrill. Alright, yeah. Both items in Hera were found. Mirror on the first floor. Rock. There's one stray location we don't know the contents of. Oh wait, no, we did. Scatter went back. It's the gold sword. So we know that Warken can get gold sword here. He probably will. He can also check Mimic Cave. Flippers in Mimic Cave is an A+ meme. We know Flippers are go mode, so we know Scatter's sequence break here is not going to pay off. He was running low on bombs, so 13 bombs are pretty welcome, actually, in logic. See what it is. Bottle. I'm not sure if that's helpful or rude. But Scatter seems to be a little bit scatterbrained here. What he might be thinking? Looks like he's going to be making the Hera play and getting his mirror. The question remains then, when is he going to go get that Helmasaur item, which we know to be Gold Sword? When is he going to go prioritize mirror spots? When will he go check Mimic Cave? One thing that is more annoying than anything else in Randomizer, I'd say it's finding a late mirror. There are a lot of mirror spots in this game, all over the map, and if you just found mirror and you're missing one more item, good news is, with Flippers being Go mode Swamp, that is guaranteed Go mode Ice. Desert could have the Flippers. Mirror. Nope's out of Hera. Go next. Mythical Rock yet. Peace and bombs, not valuable. Orkin gets his gold sword. The Dark World, is he going for the Spike Cave sequence break? Has that red potion, which means he can make this trip. In logic right now, unless one of the invincibility items turns up. Could easily be in desert or a stray mirror spot, so I do like the idea of checking this. When you're one item from Go mode, you don't want more fetch quests. Two Bottle Spike Cave is not in logic. You need either Burna or Cape plus magic extension. So as they have half magic, either invincibility item will do. Sure that everything's possible under insane difficulty conditions, which is 3 hearts. If it's possible on 3 hearts, with Cane of Burna and 3 hearts and no other way to and a full magic bar. So you're going to be seeing Checkerboard Cave and Mimic Cave simultaneously here. You. Bombs in Checkerboard. And what's in Mimic Cave? Ah, and that puts the Spike Cave rupees in logic. Hard on the desert ledge, Scatter decides, yeah, I'll take that. Say I blame him. We're seeing a desert palace. What's on the torch? From 0 to 2 items. Passing through Turtle Rock. He's inching ever closer to only needing swamp and ice. Imagine he's gonna go anywhere but desert next. Big key on the right side. There was an arrow capacity upgrade in the other item. There's maps, so we're going to see a mirror, and then Scatter's going to check the big chest. Worken, showing why having the lamp in a dark room is usually helpful. Breezing right through it. As well, Laser Bridge is going to be no problem. Safety door. And Scatter finds the flippers in Desert Palace. Able to do... Wait, no, he doesn't need to be able... Yeah, if Scatter is able to do the Palace of Darkness Dark Rooms on the way to Helmasaur, he is in go mode. Good enough after Desert if he is or not by where he goes and what he does. Likewise, Worken is almost definitely going to go to Desert next. Will be in go mode when he finds those flippers. So this is actually a very close race if Scatter can do that dark room. If not, if he goes anywhere but Mire, probably going in Worken's favor. This is going to be close. Misery Mire big chest with the big key in its vanilla location. Does Scatter know that dark room? He did do the dark maze, so I'm willing to bet that he'd be willing to try it. If he thinks he's down. And I'm pretty sure he thinks he's down. Mothula deaths. The ice or swamp being a good play here. Does he go mode swamp and ice, or does he full clear them because he needs that lamp? This fight, not the easiest thing. Pretty tricky to get the timing on those slashes. Arrow shots. What was I saying? Oh yeah, slashes. Worken's fight. Gold Sword is way faster than Master Sword for Trinex. Pod. He's comfortable enough with that dark room. In Worken's court, is he going to go to Desert? Mode. There are stray locations he could check. Insist. Spots. But he'd do that if he was going anywhere. He's going to Desert. First, but no, he's going straight into Desert. flippers, and then he's going to be right away in go mode. Scatter manages to avoid an entire trip into Misery Mire. At Eastern, Hera was strictly required for Swamp. Scatter's going to open up these chests. He's not going to find anything here. I don't think he's come this far to leave the dungeon now. Palace and Ice Palace. You do first. A little bit. Putting to both that. Fastest thing to do here would be doing Ice, and then doing a save quit, and then doing Swamp from Link's house, because that's faster than Flute 4, and then Mirror, and then Flute again. We're coming down to a situation where those seconds matter. This could come down to where the big key is in Ganon's tower. He's gonna switch to the hammer. He's got to hammer the pegs. Hit that switch with something as Warken finds his flippers. Scatter's going to the elbow. There's one turtle in here. Then used Fire Rod. He's gonna try and light a torch with half magic. Got 16 shots. You don't have to be particularly accurate. Fairy. It's gonna be at no risk of dying. Oh, they are going to be basically tied. Having Lamp will not matter for Ganon's tower with half magic, I don't think. Having only Fire Rod and no Lamp could have an impact, but I don't think it will in this one. Almasaur. Bit of a long fight. In the meantime, Warken's gonna go fight Lanmo, and then they will be even. Very good race. Warken, 2 to go. For gold sword slash spins. Takes 2 hits per. Scatter gets his gold sword. A lot of races going on around 8 p.m. So right about now, there's a lot more starting around 9. There are just races all night. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. 512 player Swiss bracket, so 256 matches every week for 7 weeks. 128 person bracket stage with the top, I believe, 8 from the primary tournament last season, and the top 4 from the secondary. Automatically qualifying, plus the top 112, everybody with a 5-2 record and better from the Swiss stage. This race so far, there are literally thousands more coming. Ice first, Warken's doing Swamp first, but they're targeting these at about the same time. So, who has the advantage on Ganon's tower after both dungeons? Warken gaining a few seconds on his route, but losing that time on his path into Swamp. Let's see. This is very, very close. Not matter in Swamp Palace. Small keys do not matter because there's one fixed small key at the start. That's all you need. The big key does not matter in Ice Palace if you can do the primary bomb jump. A first chest like that which you do want to open chests for the, I think because it makes the route a little nicer, but no, I don't actually think so. In Go Mode Ice Palace, you don't need to open any chests. Big Key might actually help. He's in Go Mode. Bomb toss from Scatter after the first bonk. Skeletons work is if one of them is knocked down. It's like they're both knocked down, they can die. Passing straight through. On jump, looks right. Spin set up to get on the last pixel. Walk down, he knew he was right. Oh, the positions for facing down. Nice quintuple spin from Scatter. Bombs in that pack. Statue, Scatter clipping into the stairs. Rushing the bosses with 13 hearts and red mail and gold sword and half magic. I don't think either of them are scared. So one small advantage Warken does have here is his red potion. So he might be good on just that, while Scatter might feel the need to flute to 2 and buy potions from the witch. It's not like it takes that long to buy potions from the witch. Take time, and in this race here, that time matters. Bombos, he just wants to melt the ice, he doesn't want to play around. It's a little slower than using the fire rod, but it is not that much slower. This is the spin to hit all 3 at the start, so it's going to be a bit of a slower fight. Or 4 hits on each puff from any weapon he's got here. Doesn't take too long. Warken's going to be dispatching Argus, which is one of the longer bosses in the game. About the same amount of time, including access time, I believe, in the dungeon, but takes longer to access. I think Scatter has a small lead right now, but okay. And take out Argus with Silver Arrow. Not easy to hit him at that speed. Not easy. And the eyeball goes down. Is just slightly tighter here. Just gaining time. Approach to Swamp Palace, he took a faster approach, so that's gaining time. Ice Palace. Hookshot is very nice for navigating through Ice Palace, as I'm sure you noticed. As for Swamp, well, it's pretty straightforward. These dungeons done pretty well. Let's see them done pretty well again. Enough. Both runners, I believe, have the exact same amount of health to the heart piece. I could be wrong on that. And the same equipment. Pretty sure that they, aside from Scatter having that second bottle, which has a B in it, versus Warken potion in a bottle instead of being empty, they are equivalent on what they have. Beat up Mold Arm for 10 arrows. Why? I think they just didn't realize they need that chest in Ice Palace and Go mode. Ingrained in your muscle memory that I just entered Ice Palace. I must get these things. Back half of the dungeon. Definitely got a small lead on Warken here. Ganon's tower, left versus right. That is the difference here. A fall to Ganon. That is less. Sorry, that is more than the difference here. So one fall and that's it. Towards silvers, but let's be honest. It is to slip up, get hit by a fire bat, and just fall. Just feel like they're behind right now. Better from all those Mothula deaths. The valiant effort to take him out. From, well, a lot of backtracking left and right. And a lot of really good stuff here. Very, very fast Argus. Taking advantage of his gold sword to essentially just kill each puff with pokes. You cannot do that with anything but the gold sword. A very fast Argus fight. Seriously impressed with that. I'm practicing that later. In the meantime, Warken is... I guess Warken is not comfortable with the Ice Palace bomb jump, and so needed that big key. Being early, that actually keeps Warken in it versus jump. Anyway, with Scatter on his way to Ganon's tower, I've heard there's a little thing you guys like to do with the tournament races. It's in Ganon's tower that can contain the big key. Any number from 1 to 22. That's your guess for where the Ganon's tower big key will be found. The count on that works. I don't know if the torch counts or not, if it's bonked or not. I know there's a bot that runs this. I don't know the commands for it. I wasn't briefed on it. Personally, I always hope to see it in the map chest, which is the double fire bar room on the left side. Torch and Stalfos, which is 6 if you go full left, and 8 if you do the start of right, and it would be 12 if you go full right, and then mirror out. Scatter taking the Super Bunny route. It's not actually faster than the Turtle Rock route. Nines in the chat. Scatter going to be entering Ganon's tower right around 145. He's on pace for a pretty solid sub 2, even if Tile Room has the big key. Warken only about a minute behind. Is also going to be taking the Super Bunny Cave route. So, if you need to get up to Ganon's tower, Rock Portal is actually about 10 seconds faster if it's already active, and about 2 seconds faster if it's not. So Scatter going to start with right side. Will he continue? Yes, he will. Right out the Tile Room. Nope. The Fire Rod Torch Lighting Room, no problem. That room is deceptively difficult, dealing with all the conveyors in there. Let's see what it is. Arrow capacity. Red because they're crystals 5 and 6 and open up Pyramid Fairy, or the Big Bomb to open it. Compass in its the vanilla location. Grabs the key, mirrors out, standard route. Warken right on his heels. If Warken immediately goes left, it would be a draw. He's going right. 7, still no big key. Full right. He's gonna gain back some time here. Ganon's tower gambles. Warken is now only about 3 rooms down. Tile Room. Warken gains with that move. Ganon's tower. Whole lot of nothing in Stalfos Room. Would bring the total items checked up to 11. Scatter hookshotting through. He's going to check the map chest here. $12, still no big key. Boomerang trick. Line up for a hook shot. Gets knocked off by the spike. Getting that key. Freaking gets spiked off again. Keep this close. Fire Snake Room. In the Fire Snake Room. For 13 checked, 9 to go. Called Randomizer Room because it only has arrows and bombs in vanilla, so you never see it except in Randomizer. Quake! Full heart. Still nothing. To 17 with no big key. Enlarging his lead, though. His execution in Ganon's tower has been very nice, other than the one boomerang mishap. Then we'll be seeing an Ice Armos fight. And then we'll probably be seeing Tile Room. That brings him up to 15. Very nice bonk strat to instantly fall down. Room isn't bad with cape, but neither runner has cape. Really sloppy ice Armos, but they're down. Lead of about 20. Going into 300 rupees. And the big key! So if you guessed... And he opens the last chest there for another heart. So if you guessed 20, then you win. So let me scroll up here. I see a couple 19s, but the first person who guessed 19 was Incoherent SA. So I think that means you would win. Because it was on the left of its vanilla location. So, close. Time for the gauntlet. A lot of realms of combat here, and well, even with red mail, because there are a lot of environmental hazards, that health can vanish. There's Scatter moving his way into the cannonball room. It's a cool strat here where you can dash at the right time and just go straight through. You can also jump off the edge for invincibility frames. He feels confident enough. Remember, he does not have a bottle for safety. Magic is his health and magic. Worken, on the other hand, does have a red potion. Could be the difference here if Scatter has to play it safe. Good mimic roams from both runners. Scatter getting bullied a little bit while trying to snipe the horse heads. Of the gauntlet. Or the gauntlet. Scatter dealing with the 5th roam with the ice floor. He got bullied, despite, like I said, most of the things in that area are hazards. They do fixed damage regardless of mail. Oops, but it doesn't save him there. Starting his way up the gauntlet. Scatter does not get 1 cycle land mo, but he got 2 of them down, so 2 cycle, very good. Onto the conveyor room. Samaria strats to kill all the wizrobes easy. Not a cooperative enemy up there. Robe rooms from Scatter. Slightly cleaner gauntlet overall. But with Fire Rod, you don't usually worry too much about your magic usage. Try for the insta-kill. He's 1 slash out. Oh, he missed a slash on that guy. Okay. Well, Scatter deals with the torch room like it's nothing. Pretty solid. Fast 3 cycle. Not as good as a 2 cycle. But, you know, fast 3 versus slow 2. Scatter moving up. Just everything is happening so fast. This game gets so fast here. Alarm room. Scatter's going to take the health refill. Will he take the magic refill as well? Well, so full health, full magic. He should be fine for Ganon. Warken going to do his torch room. We've seen some people prefer lamp here. Seen some people prefer fire rod. We'll see how it goes when he has the choice. He goes for lamp. Very quick Moldorm too. Gold sword is just 2 slashes. Don't even have to worry about spinning. Not open the last chest. Boy, I usually open it. It's funny to see. Sometimes you get something amusing there. Sometimes it just caps things off. To open it. It's on Agatu Phase 1, or Cycle 1. Looks like an easy double, but no, blue ball. 1. Worken having a little trouble with the bombs, but Scatter having a little trouble with Aghanim. Setup, but makes it work. Two, 1, 1, 2, I think that was. Ooh, and Worken takes a bad fall. If Moldorm wants to shoot you off, you just get sniped. Storm almost claims another fall. Again. Moldorm 2 is just not playing nice today. So Scatter moving on to Ganon. For you, one that I don't know. 6 hits with the gold sword in Phase 1. 6 hits after he starts spinning the trident here. Dash pokes. Avoid the knockback from slashing Ganon. Time. I can tell you that. Phase 3. Doesn't care. Gold sword, 2 1 cycles are a joke. So 1 hit after each set of warps. Same warp RNG here, so not very many for either. Both players will get the same Aghanim as well, which is not a very nice one. Make sure he gets Torch Glitch here rather than play it a little bit safer or faster and try and go for a hit. No, he's going for the hit. Which either well played. Damage with red mail, he can shrug it off. 1 more silver and that'll be game. Scatter, unless he messes this up. I have seen people fall while going up the stairs before. Happens. Scatter with a 158.18. I'm gonna probably wait on an interview until Worken's done, because Worken is entering Ganon. That was a great race. Worken's just gonna be finishing up Ganon here. He's already lost. He's making sure he doesn't die to Ganon. The lag that Myrna's causing here. Looks like he doesn't really want to go for an interview. Worken missed Torch Glitch, but that's okay. Because Torch Glitch is not that essential. Down shortly. To see where the fireback comes from, make sure he lights the torches. I don't blame him. Silvers. –
Hello.
I want to interview. I misread. Congrats on your win. That was a very good race, actually.
Oh, thank you. That was actually, I mean, I know rando PBs don't really matter because of the whole nature of the thing, but that was my first sub too, which is pretty cool.
Nice. Workin just took a fall to Ganon.
Oh, dang, we were closer. I mean, not closer than I thought, I guess, but we were close.
He actually found the mirror way before you did, like a good 20 minutes. But by the time you had the flippers, he'd done pod already. You hadn't. So you were finishing up pod as he was finishing up desert, and then you both had just swamp and ice.
I see. Yeah, the mirror had me kind of worried. I'm surprised it was only 20 minutes before, to be honest, because I had access to Hera long before I actually went in there.
There were a lot of decisions like that.
Yeah,
Props
this
to you for continuing to go back for Mothula. That took some guts after that first death.
yeah, that was just a bad decision, I think. At least I had sense enough to not try a third time.
Mothula didn't take another victim, but Blind actually killed both of you.
Oh, really?
Claimed to win. Let's see. The lamp was.
Oh, did Quest not find the lamp either?
Your big chest.
Which big chest, sorry?
A Misery Mire big chest.
Misery Mire, wow.
Vanilla location, no less. Doing cleared out Mire. Hera, while he was there, he went straight up to Moldorm, got the second item. That was it. So you gained a little bit of time back there. Okay, so what were you thinking with Turtle Rock?
Well, I figured I had access to it. I didn't want to. I decided to skip the big key chest, I guess, just because I don't know. It takes a while, and most of the time it's nothing. Because if it's a key, you didn't need it. I already had big key at that point. So I just figured I'd gamble on it, and if it was something, I'd go back for it. I know that's inconsistent in hindsight. It doesn't really make that much sense of a play, but
yeah, it got you a sword. Would have been nice to have for Trinex.
Would have been kind of nice, yeah. The Trinex fight went all right regardless, but
it was a nice Trinex fight. It was also a really, really nice Argus fight.
Oh yeah, thanks. The butter makes that pretty easy.
But I am very bad at Argus still.
It is a little bit tricky, especially if you're doing that strat where you like hook two of them and then spin. I have a lot of trouble with that one, but luckily for butter, you don't have to do that.
But not like hitting things immediately after hooking without having to slash, just in general. Ganon's tower was also pretty interesting. You managed to gain time on both the Argus fight and in Ice Palace. Worken, he didn't do the palm jump. I don't know if he didn't know it, but the big key being in the first chest saved him there in that case. And he takes down Ganon.
Right, so he was in go mode there too, right, in Ice?
The flippers were go mode for both of you.
Okay, yeah, then so, yeah, the first big key, that would have been pretty similar for both of us.
Saved, used some time on just rushing through ice. So you entered Ganon's tower about a minute ahead, despite starting the swamp ice thing about 20 seconds apart.
Wow.
So he gained back almost all of that time by bailing on right side after the first two chests.
Yeah, when I found the big key, I was like, man, I just probably lost a lot of time. Or there was at least a 50% chance I did.
A way cleaner gauntlet and just everything else from that point. Steadily gained the lead from there.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that gauntlet. Usually it's a little bit more sloppy than that for me.
Race.
That was a good race. It's good to know that my nerves were justified.
One thing to note during the race itself, I noticed both routes left a lot of isolated locations that would be a pain to check later. Certainly spent a lot of time with that purple chest.
I was just about to say, don't even ask me what I was thinking with the purple chest. I kept going back and forth, like, do I bring this? I should, because it's one of the only things in Logic. Oh, wait, Zora's been in Logic since almost the beginning, so maybe I should go up and do that. And then it was all over the place, but...
KwehstopherWarken. That was... I know Scatter's heard this a lot, but that was a very good race from both of you. Good show.
GG.
Thank you. GG. How close was I till I fell at Ganon?
Entering Ganon's tower, you were about a minute down. Entering the left side, you were about 20 seconds down, about maybe even less than that. At the big key, it was more like about a minute and a half, and it stayed steady until Ganon.
At least it was close. How close was I till I fell at Ganon? Those falls on the hook shot room, I knew those cost me.
You mean on the left side basement?
Yeah, in the left side basement, the hook shot room.
Got knocked off by a spike twice, was it?
Yeah, I was waiting for the stupid Stalfos to move because I hate that thing.
Off the left side for that. I don't know why. I just tend to bonk there.
Yeah, in the left side basement, the hook shot room. I'm not super confident in my bonk skills, so. When has hook shot, always hook shot. But that's me.
Interesting play that you made, Warken. You, in Tower of Hera, after the mirror, kept climbing.
I'm not super confident.
But then went straight for Moldorm rather than check the big chest. Shot to get there, and then boots to go back.
Yeah,
if the big chest had the item, that would have been pretty obnoxious to go back to. So it was an interesting decision that did pay off, but it easily could have failed too.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about the big chest.
Well, that works, I guess.
I considered going up. Normally, in a situation like that, I would have finished out Tower of Hera just to get the other item, because it's like while you're there and you're not in go mode, it's like it's going to be annoying to go back. But when I found the mirror, I found it apparently about 20 minutes after you did. So when I found it, I was like, I'm definitely behind. So I just had to. I left and just took the risk.
Oh, you were behind at that point? I figured you were way in front because it was
actually really close in terms of overall progression. You were doing a lot of different things, but ended up converging about a minute apart. Like a lot less than that. It was like 20-something seconds when you were both going for Swamp and Ice.
You were behind at that point?
So it was harder to tell exactly where you were in relation to each other.
Really? I felt the sea almost kind of linear. I mean, at the beginning, maybe not so much. Well, no, it still felt really linear to me.
You went to Death Mountain sooner than Scatter did. He immediately went into Skullwoods, tried to clear it, died twice to Mothula, left, did other stuff. Just to bully Mothula.
Yeah, I might have been a bit cocky about that. Maybe not the smartest play, but...
See, I hate Skullwoods so much that I will put it off as long as possible.
I really should have just done Thieves first, because if Thieves had like safeties or something, that would have made Skull way easier, but hindsight, 2020 and all that.
Other than Mitts, I don't remember what Thieves had. See, I hate Skullwoods so much.
I mean, it didn't really have much,
I will
but
put it
I
off
didn't know
as
that
long
at the time.
as possible. Oh, that's right. You confused me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, Thieves was so long ago. I don't remember what it had other than Mitts.
Had all the dungeon items in the first half.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going, ooh, maybe this will have some nice stuff in the first start, in the beginning, and make it a little easier. That's right. No, it's great. Thanks, Steve. Your town sucks.
Another interesting thing working.
Yeah, I'm sitting there going,
the Misery Mire.
I'm sitting there going, ooh, maybe this will have some nice stuff in the first start. I was desperate at that point. I was looking for something, mostly mirror or flippers at that point, because I had bailed on Pod because I didn't have the lamp, and my dark rooms are real shaky. I can do like you saw the one hallway
at that point. I was looking for
right before I bailed out of pod.
Mostly mirror or
and I can do the one in Eastern
point,
Palace, and that's it. Those are the only dark rooms I'm comfortable with.
Pod,
so I was looking for lamp, like I found in Misery Mire.
My dark rooms are real shaky. I can
flippers or mirror
like
or some other kind of progression. So I'm sitting here going, and Misery Mire just popped in my skull, and that's where I went.
And that's it. Those are the only dark rooms I'm comfortable with.
I was actually very close to going into Mire, but I was like, no, there's Hera up there, and I hadn't checked like Spec Rock or Spec Rock Cave at that point. I was like, that's more items. Mire takes forever. I'm just going to go up there first anyway, and then when it had the mirror, I was like, this opens so much.
Misery Mire just popped into my skull, and that's where I went.
See, and I feel like Mire's one of my better dungeons that I can do really quickly. It's just that first room with the whiz robes that takes me a little bit longer, because those whiz robes are horrible.
I honestly just like blasting them with ether. But it's usually about as good as getting a fast 2-spawn on them.
Yeah, and I did have ether, because that was what was required.
Mind you, but it's fast enough to be worth considering. Yeah, you didn't do the bomb jump in Ice Palace.
No, I ran a practice seed right before this, and I went to do the bomb jump, and I thought I had that down pat, and I just could not land it for some reason. So I'm just like, well, it took me more time than I thought, and I ended up having to do it the long way anyway. So I'm just like, I'm not even going to bother. I'm probably behind as is. I'm going to bank on there either being a key in the room right above the big key room, or the big chest room. If not, there's a key right to the right, and it's big. Especially when I found that the big key in the Pen Gator room.
You both picked that up. Actually, even though Scatter did the bomb jump.
Yeah, I couldn't really remember if you needed to check any chests for keys at that point. I knew I didn't need the big key, and I was pretty sure you didn't need any small keys. But I wasn't confident enough to just skip it just in case. But then I got further, and I was like, no, I can just go straight to Cold Stare. So
if you get the big key, you need one small key, and you don't need to do the bomb jump. If you don't get the big key, then you have to do the bomb jump.
Or, do the...
Or do the entire dungeon.
You'll get the big key later.
Yeah.
If you get the big
big key and one small key, you don't need to do the bomb jump.
Or want to have to search for a key in Go Mode Ice Palace, though.
Well, if you get the big key, there's a small key.
Do the entire dungeon.
In the room to the right of where you need the big key to go up.
Will I get picked up? I've dipped in there for a key before myself during the dungeon, and I found all the items early, and I needed to scout for the big key, so I did the Freezer Room bomb jump to Iced Tea and found the big key there.
Of where you need the big
but
key
then I still needed a small key. Having to pick that one up. It was pretty early that seed, which was nice. Silvers were pretty readily available before the bow.
I don't even remember where silvers were.
Hype Cave, I believe.
Oh, that's right, Hype
Red
Cave.
Mail. Considered it was a fairly generous layout.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I ran a seed yesterday. Trying to practice.
I don't even remember where
I was trying to do Master Sword Ganon, and that was just a train wreck.
Not easy with lack of anything to make it easier.
Yeah, I think it was Master Sword, Silvers, Green Mail. That was no, just no.
Wouldn't be too bad if you had Cape and half magic.
Didn't have Cape either.
You?
It was just a train wreck of a Ganon fight.
Master Sword, Silver's, Green Mail. That was just no.
Although I do have to say, this seed, I had the cleanest Trinex fight of my life.
Sword, ///.
It was just a train.
Yeah, normally I can't pull that off. I either miss the first rod hits or something, but I didn't this time, and I was actually kind of proud of myself on that.
Both of you.
Yeah, normally I can't pull that off.
As mentioned, very good race to watch.
The first. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and watching the VOD, see what he did.
Hits or something.
Yeah, same here.
But I didn't this time, and I was actually kind of proud of myself on that.
Boots, the stinking all the way back. Those were almost as early as they get.
Well, yeah, they were in the chest right after Uncle. Yeah, I'm sitting there going, well, I'm sitting there going, I think I can work with that.
Bonked the wall in escape sewers and had to go back after the glove, which thankfully was not very far out.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, I forgot you could bonk that wall too, so I ended up having to go back.
Any final thoughts?
Well, that was a good race. GG again.
Yeah, exactly. Same here. GG. That was a pretty good seed. I thought sitting here watching the race. I'm sitting here. I'm going into GT, and you haven't finished yet. I have a shot at this. Yay!
Yeah. It's pretty nerve-wracking when you get towards the end and neither one of us is finished yet.
Yeah, you start watching the clock and it's like 1:45, 1:50. They haven't finished yet, and it's just nerve-wracking.
Mm-hmm.
But GG, thank you to Thank you for commentating. Thank you for the race. Thank you to Speed Gaming for restreaming. Thank you to Epic Ranger for restreaming. Thank you to the tracker. Thank you to everybody watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Yep. Thank you to everybody, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
You too. Enjoy that 1-0 bracket. I envy you, yet I don't envy you.
Maybe we'll rematch next week in 1-1s. Or 2 weeks. I don't think there are rematches in Swiss. I don't think that can happen, but regardless. Brackets then.
Either way, good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Good luck.
To everybody in the Twitch chat, thank you for watching.